You know, I'm starting to notice a trend here where I like the older cars. Like anything between your 2003 to 2006. This one is right smack dab in the middle. And I've only owned this thing for like a month. And this has probably been one of the most simple cars that I've ever had the pleasure of owning. But you know what? Instead of just telling you, you and I are gonna go for a drive. So let's go for a drive, shall we? Alright, so we're behind the wheel. So this is a 2005 model Hyundai Elantra. This would be considered the second generation, if I'm not mistaken, because the first one was up until the 90s. Back then, this was back when Hyundai was still making, really cheap cars to sell, just absolutely sell by the units, because they were competing against Hyundai and Toyota, or not Honda and Toyota, which even by today's standards are absolute economic juggernauts. There's a Cybertruck that's driving by. Neat. But back in the mid 2000s, before the economic recession that took place in 2008, most cars were still being made with relatively good quality, and this one here is absolutely no exception. It's got we just hit 200,000 miles on this, and you wouldn't tell. My fiance drove a Mazda 3 from the late 2000s. That was the one that had the Ford 2-liter 4-cylinder in there. And mysteriously one day it decided to drink all of its coolant and blow up. We had to scramble around on the Facebook Marketplace, and we came across this 2005 Hyundai Elantra. Checked all the boxes, and if you saw in the intro, it actually had a little bit more than what we would have hoped. As you see it, is how we got it. Fake BBS wheels and slammed to the ground and all. Thankfully, we're on a bit of a smooth road right now, but you might notice in the video, even just with the road as relatively smooth as this, I am bouncing up and down like it's no tomorrow. And being that we're in the Rust Belt of the Northeast, we get pretty bad roads, even on international highways. Which just turns this thing into an absolute bouncing nightmare. So, as much as I like looking at it, as much as I like seeing it, kind of, how it sits, how it's a bit lower to the ground, I can't get over how much this thing just absolutely bounces in the air. It just absolutely bounces me around. I would absolutely love to have been the fly of the design room when they were engineering this thing together. Because as far as I've been able to tell, there is not a single thing that isn't bolted together. It even so much as just basic oil changes. It's everything is within easy reach. There's nothing majorly in the way. The alternator and AC compressor are right in front. Even the power steering pump. Everything is right up front with this thing. Everything is so easy to work on and maintain that in the 10 plus years that I've been working on cars, just passively, here and there, even the 2 years I spent working at an actual shop, almost nothing that I've ever seen, worked on, or drove was anywhere near this simple. Simple construction, right, or simple design, simple engineering, yet still maintaining a high enough level of quality control that stuff like the dash, steering wheel, doors, even the center console. That's a bad example because this center console needs to be replaced. But look, maybe you know what? In future videos, maybe I'll get to that. But like I can bang around, right? And everything is still in place. The roof isn't sagging, and everything feels nice. It still feels nice to the touch, and that's something that they did not, bypass just to try and save a couple bucks. I give Hyundai a lot of credit for that, because now 20 years later, these things are still on the road. Granted, they're not as plentiful as I would assume, an enthusiast like myself would have hoped, because unfortunately, when these cars were new, people just bought them and trashed them. They just drove them until they couldn't drive no more, and then they would go buy a Toyota or a Honda. Or by then, their situation would have changed enough so that they are able to actually get the bigger car. Say instead of a Corolla, they would get the Camry, or maybe they would go up to a Lexus if they wanted to stick to Toyota. Or in Hyundai's case, maybe they would get the Sonata, which is the bigger brother to the Elantra and grandfather to the Accent. Perhaps this was whatever they could get their hands on for whatever price they could afford it to be when it was new. And probably the last major thing of note is the rear quarter panels have a rather not super egregious, not super flashy, but a nice subtle kind of like a side skirt kit. It's nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. It's just a little bit. As far as performance under the hood, all the Elantras got a 2.0 liter inline four, which at the time of new made about 135 horsepower, and I believe 128, 129, maybe 130 pound-feet of torque. It's definitely not the fastest, but it will get out of its own way. This was definitely before a time when they threw a turbocharger in and everything. So this is just naturally aspirated, all motor, just goodness. And here's that. So merging and foot to the floor. Alright. Mind you, this thing is 20 years old, 200,000 miles, and it was willing to scream all the way to redline at about 6,500 RPM. I think this is definitely more of a testament to, I guess, the quality control back in the 2000s. I guess the saying goes, they just don't make them like they used to. The daytime running lights, we found out after the fact, after we had given the paperwork and signed the title and everything. We found out that they were like a nice purple. Same thing with the dome lights. The dome light is purple. The reverse lights are also purple. So, on top of being a red and white motif on the exterior, it's a nice purple hue on the interior, which is a nice touch. Very nice touch. Well, all in all, I guess that's going to wrap up this episode. Let me know what you guys like. I'd love to hear your thoughts, opinions, and comments in the comment section below. anything to feed the algorithm. Hopefully, in the future, I would be able to get more cars to go for a drive on. And you know what? We'll see how they compare. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. All right, that was a good drive. Let's just make sure get ourselves unpacked. Hello? Yeah, this is he. No, I haven't heard from him in a while. I've been trying to get in contact with him, but it takes forever to get anything back. Last I heard from him, he was somewhere in Scotland. He said it was pretty remote. I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to get worried myself. Well, if I hear anything, I'll let you know. All right. Where are you, solar flare?